Assalamu alaikum. I would like to discuss about the Holy Quran. Some subject about Quran and modern science. Non-Muslim scholar also agreed to discuss about the Quran, that the Quran is such a nice Arabic lecture and the literature. It is the best literature of the world. Al-Quran has challenged to all human beings to write a book like this Quran. Now, if you have any doubt about it, then write an article like it. Call up your helpers except Allah. If you are truthful, and if you cannot do such, then you will never be able to do such. Then try to be safe from the hellfire, whose fuel will be man and stone, which is created for the infidel non-believers or believers. Surah Baqarah, verse 23 to 24. Anybody has not yet come ahead to take such challenge of Allah. Albert Einstein, the prominent physics scientist and winner of Nobel Prize, said science is unable or blind without the religion. Al-Quran has to be read and for understanding details of it, whether Al-Quran and modern science is relevant or contradictory. Al-Quran is not any book on science, rather a symbol for alerting or giving guideline. There are more than 6,000 verses, as instance of which more than 1,000 of verses come down with the context of science. To the best of knowledge of all, decisions of the science were changed in many times. So a few shall discuss about some fact established by proof, because the bank in the biography of Muhammad, it was discussed not even very broadly. First, the mankind held that the earth is flat due to fear of the falling from the edge of the earth. Man did not travel to remote place for the hundreds of years. Sir Francis Drake is the first man who proved by moving throughout four sides of the earth in 1597 and proved that the earth is round. But Quran said it is before 1400 year. Allah converted the night into the day and day into night. Cannot you see? Surah Luqman, verse 29. It could not be possible if the earth is not round. Quran says about the round shape of the earth. It has created the sky and ground properly. He covered the night by day, Surah Jumar, covering day and night, or make it as ring. Such happening may happen at such time. As the earth is round, the earth is not round like ball, but like geo-round. It is flat at the horizon. That means horizon center flat. Allah Al-Quran and declares, Allah created the earth like an egg, Surah Ankabut, verse 30. Here the Arabic word dahaha used for the egg, which means an egg of an ostrich. The egg of ostrich is the shape of the georound of the earth. At the time of the revelation of the Quran, people believe the earth to be flat. Astrology. Creation of the word Big Bang. Astrologists became unanimous in the theory of Big Bang about creation of the world. This theory was recognized through the observation and experimental theory passing many ages. According to theory of Big Bang, the whole earth was like a big globe shape. Then a huge explosion caused to happen, resulting in the creation of the galaxy. Afterward, those shape anew into planet, the star, the sun, the moon, etc. Origin of the earth was a unique event, and there is no possibility to happen it miraculously. The Quran says, "Do the infidel not see that the doorway of the jewel of the celestial sphere and the earth were closed as a part of the creation? Then I opened the both." Surah Anbiya, verse 30. He whom the omnipotent Allah provided with the conception 1400 years ago. Of course, he is the prophet of the prophet, in the principal prophet, beyond any doubt. Extending world. I have created the sky by my own hand, and of course I am the expander of it. Surah Zariyat, verse 47. Exact translation of the Arabic word Musiam is the expander, that the Quran depicted it before 1400 years. On that everyday admin Hubble, an astrologer of the United States Presidents and the observatory evidence in 1952 that galaxies are displacing and creating distance which one another, that is the universe is expanding. From among the witness that all galleries are going to fall by displacing, that means the world is expanding. Somewhere else, one of the renowned astrologist Stephen Hawking mentioned his work, A Brief of History of Time. The universe is expanding. If you do not admit Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as the prophet of prophet, then you have to admit him as the greatest scientist. But he did not claim to be the greatest scientist, only claimed as only the last and greatest prophet, which is recognized by the world history and the virtue of the world. Al-Quran and declares about water cycle. Have not you seen Allah Rabbul Alamin poured the water from the sky, then flown that water in the fountain of the earth, and then produced various kinds of crop by such water. Surah Zumar, verse 21. The ancient people were not aware of the source of underground water. They thought that the sea water comes to the continent violent speed, driven by violent wind. They also believed that the water comes back through a secret passage or through a bottomless hole that connected with the sea, and it was called as a taptex from the age of Plato. Even Descartes, an eminent thinker of the 18th century, also complies with this view. In the 18th century, up to 1877 AD, theory of Aristotle was prevalent exclusively in the everywhere. According to this theory, water being condensed in this deep hole and originates like in the deep of the earth and flows as fountain about the state of the expansion of the universe through. Al-Quran, when the telescope was even not be invented. At present, we know that slowly falling of rain water through the split of water is responsible for this reason. Evaporation of water according to the Quran. I conduct air in rain, then pour water from sky, then cause to quench of you. Surah Hijr, verse 22. Here the Arabic used as Lakish, which is plural of the word Nakish, and it is derived from the word Lakha, which means is to fill up, converting or make fertile. Here the meanings of the fulfillment is that the wind increase the level of the concentration by the pushing at one time to the cloud. As a result, electricity is generated in the sky and rain falls. The Holy Quran declares, do you not see that Allah sets a array of cloud in motion, and then accumulated, then kept in the layer. Then don't you see rain falls from there? He showers a hailstorm for the heap of those heat when it likes, and divert it to other side as it wished from whom, as if it wants to destroy the electric flash. An-Nur, verse 43, Al-Quran. Beside it, 48 rooms, 43 of Nur. Geology. Have I not transformed land into bed and mountain range into right nail? Surah Maru Nab 6 to 7 verse. Meaning of here. Use Arabic word used here as right nail, which be used for keeping the rope with the land. These are the deep base of the geological fold, which is expanded from up to down. The earth is the preliminary reference loop which is used for geological subject of the different universities of the world. One of the writers of this book is Trusk Presses, who was the president of the Academy of Science of America for 12 years and was science affair advisor of former President of America, Jimmy Carter. In this book, it was depicted that hill mountain are like a right nail, and it is only the small part of the undivided material whose roots is strongly expanded from upper space of the earth to bottom. As Dr. Pence opinions, hill, mountain keep vital role to maintain the hard upper layer of the earth as crust position. Al-Quran clearly expresses about the role of the hill or mountain to the earth from the vibration. I have kept a heavy weight substance on the earth by which the earth will not shake. Surah Luqman, Surah Anbiya 31, Surah Luqman 16, Surah Nahl 15. Modern geologists could not be able to prove the speech of the Quran as wrong. Hills or mountains are strongly founded. Upper space of the earth can be divided into many of strong plates, which is with a density of the about 100 kilometer. Name part is at meaning space. These plates are floating. Hill mountain are formed within boundary of the plate. The hard upper part of the earth is expanded up to below of 5 kilometer of the sea and extended up to 50 kilometer of hill or mountain. Hill, mountain, and remaining as a steady and still on this strong base. Now, dark in the sea, in the deep sea. Professor Pargero, a world-famous experienced geologist in the sea and professor of King Abdulaziz University, Jeddah. Their activities are like dark at the space of unrest sea, who is busy on the surface of the water level on which they are having black guard, upper of the having dark, when which hand bring at that time it cannot see. He having no light, whom Allah does not cast light. Surah An-Nur. When asked for explanation of this view upon this verse of the Quran, Professor Rao said about darkness in the deep of the sea. Recently, the scientists ensured by the help of the modern instrument, man will not be able to sink in the water more than 20 to 30 meters without help of anything, and cannot live under the water to more than 200 meters at Great Sea Zone. The verse does not indicate to all seas, is because all seas having no collected layer of dark. The verse is declared about only deep seas. Number one, a ray of light of visible by combined which even color at the rainbow. Colors are violet, blue, indigo, green, yellow, orange, and red. Refraction may be happen at the time of purging light ray into the water. The water absorb the red color up to 10 meters to 15 meter of upper side. For this reason, if the diver sustain injury below 25 meters, he cannot see red color of his blood, because red color cannot reach to side depth. Similarly, orange color from 30 meters to 50 meters, yellow from 50 to 100 meters, and green color is absorbed after passing more than 100 to 200 meters. Due to being absorbed the color at different layer, the sea gradually sink in the dark. Layer of light and transform into the dark. Under depth of the water at 100 meters, it is completely dark. Number two, one layer of the darkness created below the color due to the being converted into the scattered light, being the sun ray absorbed by the cloud, which is the first phase of dark. When ray of light reach at the upper shape of the sea, then the enlightening it being reflected with the wave of surface part. For this reason, waves reflect the light and create darkness. Non-reflected light enter into the depth of the sea. So, sea has two parts. Its upper part is full of light and dark at the deeper place. The upper space is different from the deep part of the sea for the reason of wave. Darkness starts from lower space of the internal wave. Even fishes living in the deep sea cannot see anything. Only light of their body is their source of light. Quran declares their activities is like dark in the deep sea, who is created wave on the wave. Professor Durga Rao said that it is impossible to express in the subject by common people. Therefore, information reached from the lighted source. He is the prophet of the prophet of the world, to whom such kind of knowledge comes down from Almighty Allah. Now, planets are created by pairs. In the early days, man did not know that plants have male and female gender. Even some gender plants also having male and female gender in every plant. In Quran says, and he shower from the sky, and I produce various creeper by those which are different from one another. Surah Taha, 53 verse. Fruit by gender, created by pair, and from all kinds of fruit created pair by pair. Surah Bada, ayat number 3. Followers was found prior to fruits production, male, female, of male organ and pregnancy. Filament is having with female organ. When male filament be entered in female organ of any flower, then the flower become pregnant. By this process, it is nurtured. By the process, it is matured, and seed are produced. It is great true of the Quran that male and female organ is having in all fruits. Several definite species of fruit may be produced without pregnancy of flower, such as a banana, particular kinds of pineapple, orange, grape, etc. However, this may be produced from their other kinds of trees. In these trees, cereal breeding process can be seen. Biology in the Quran. Every animal created from water. In Al-Quran, infidels cannot see the ingress of the sky and earth was stopped. Then I opened the mouth of the boat, and I created all living beings from the water. After this, will not they establish faith? Surah Anbiya, verse 30. Due to progress of science, knowing about cytoplasm, the substance of water-made cell is now at 80%. Now the science is saying 50 to 90% is water for formation of maximum living being, and water is essential for the preserving the life of every animal. Every animal is created from the water. It was impossible to declare such a thing before 1400 years in the Arabic desert. It was simply impossible to imagine that said place. but it is possible by the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam through message of Allah. Allah created all animals from the water, An-Nur, Ayat 40. Only He has created human being from water, then made them as able for generation, and thus marriage relation establishing. Your Creator is able to do everything. If any person claim this science is copying all words of Quran, then it will not be considered as a baseless. So, Quran is telling you 1400 years ago. Now, after 1400 years, science is telling something exactly like Quran, something even they're trying to find out. Such as Quran says, there is a life in the another planet. That means we are living the life inside in the earth. There is another planet where you can find the life. So science has not created or discovered anything yet. So we are waiting for that. Quran already told us. Anyway, description of bee and its skill. Your Creator made direction to honey bee to build beehive on the hill, tree and high place, then take food from every fruit, then obey all easy process of your Creator. Just before a few times, 1973, Don Fresh won Nobel Prize for research about behavior and contact of the honeybees. When get message of new garden or flower, the honey bee again goes back to honey chuck and shows proper way and map for going thereof all his cooperation with all their cooperator. It can be known from dance of bees for the purpose of informing about information to other workers bees. It is scientifically proved through photography and other procedure. How the bees get message of wide way of the Creator by help on efficiency. It is declared in the above verse. Female bees are worker bee or soldier bee in verse number 68 to 69 of Surah Al-Nahar. Female gender and coolie is used for bees. That means those bees who collect food, those are female bees. By other word, the soldier or worker bees are female bees. Some dialogue of drama of Shakespeare of Henry IV that bees are soldier and they have one king. In the age of Shakespeare, man has similar idea about bees. They thought that worker bees male and they were to give reply to one bee. It is not true. worker bee are female bees and they are not to king bee. Rather they reply to the queen bee. The Quran has said this truth before 1400 years, but our scientists gave wrong explanation for 1100 years and were to wait for 1100 years to know the truth. So Muhammad is the best prophet and the greatest scientist and a man of all the time. Spider net in Quran, who accept other than Allah as the Lord, accept their example like the spider who knitted the cobweb for him, but it was very brittle if they could know. Surah Ankabut, verse 41, with the physical description worthy of brittle, nice and weak, cobweb of a spider, and about internal cobweb of the spider we have seen to kill the male spider by the female spider. Holy Quran signifies it. However, as a result of more on science research, we may reach at the decision that here having no light house like the cobweb of the spider, we had to wait long time to get those news. But Quran gave us 1400 years ago those type of messages. Embryonic science. Before several years, a team of Muslim scholars under leadership of the reputed scholar of Yemen collected information of embryo science and other theory of the science and translated in English. In this case, this advice of Quran has been accepted as an example. Therefore, ask to wise men, if not known to you, collecting and unifying all information about embryo from the Quran and Hadith, then translate in English, and then was taken to Professor Dr. Keith Moore, the head of the science about information, embryo body, and professor of anatomy of embryology in Toronto University in Canada. As present, he is the highest and proved specialist and researcher in embryology in the world. He expressed his views due to request of all. Verifying carefully, Dr. Moore says almost all information about embryo made in Quran and Hadith completely with the modern invention identically. He says more have several verses about those scientific acceptability for which is unable to comment because he knows nothing about those information. He could say whether those are true or false. Moreover, any description cannot be found about this information in modern writing, modern embryology. Al-Quran says, read the name of your Lord who created human being from coagulated blood. Quran Surah Al-Ka, from 1 to 2 verse. The Arabic word alaq means hardens blood, but having another meaning, that means the substance like leech remain attached strongly. Dr. Moore did not know whether an embryo resembled leech. He started his primary to experiment with embryo with a high-powered microscope and was able to see that a leech is a similar shape of embryo. Seeing such astonishing similarity between those two, he became astonished and acquired many unknown knowledge about embryo. Mr. Moore given answer of 80 questions about said embryo as mentioned Quran, Hadith. Professor Moore added that there is similarity of leech, which last invention of science about embryo. But in before years, these questions were made, then I could not be able to answer for half of those questions due to lack of scientific information. He said at 7th Medical Conference held at Dammam of Saudi Arabia in 1981, I am highly pleased for helping to explanation and analysis about blooming of human being through Quran. It has come to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from the Almighty Allah. It is clear to me because not of its knowledge could not be inverted after many centuries. Beside it, also proved to me that Muhammad is the prophet of prophet and prophet of Allah. Dr. Jolong Simpson, the department head, gynae and female disease, and midwifery science of Baylor College of Medicine of Houston of America says Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam expressed hadith was not collected on basis of scientific truth. It was exist in the 17th century. So it be seen that there having no difference between the religion indicating to the Islam and generation and science or breeding science. Moreover, the religion can see way for the science through the connecting is surprised knowledge with the truth existing science in Al-Quran. This be proved and enough after several years for mentioned information, which proves my word from Allah in the knowledge of Quran. From the few liquid substance, Quran declare that subject at the creation of human from nutfa, at minimum 11 place at the mains. A few quantity of liquid substance or several drop of liquid substance as a residual at the bottom of any cup. Recently, the scientists ensured that only can science a necessary from average 3 million Siemens for active or oval. Its another meaning is that for active of Siemens 1/3 million or 0.4 times 0.3% from ousted semen is needed. Determination of gender, not by nature of ovary, rather gender of embryo be determined by nature of science. The baby is male or female. It depends on XX or RY category. 23 pairs. Chromosome gender be determined primarily at the time of the unification on basis of chromosome of science by which it be united, unified, which is be unified. It bearing semen, and if bearing semen unify the ovary, then the embryo be female. Quran says He create male and female when be out from one stop. An-Nazm verse 45 to 46. Meaning of Arabic word nutfa is a few quantity of liquid, and noma means being out. So semen is man by nutfa because semen be out. Quran said, was not it emerged semen? Then it was blood ball. Then Allah created and spread. Then created couple, male and female. From that, Surah Al-Qiyamah, 37 to 39 verse. Here, by the word nutfatan, manian, umana, meaning of the semen as a few quantity from ousted from male and female, a small drop, then a small drop. Most of the father-in-law and mother-in-law make responsible of wife of son if son baby not be born or born girl baby. If they could know that not the ovary but semen of male. If blame need to be given, then do not blame to the wife, but blame should be given to the own son, because Quran and science both are mentioning the semen of male for determination of the gender. Embryo was preserved inside three screen of dark. Quran says, He has created you in pregnancy of your mother, gradually 3 step in the dark. Al-Jumar Surah, verse 6. In opinion of the professor Dr. Kitmore, to say darkness of the 3 step in Quran and stand number 1, wall in front of the mother's pregnancy. Number 2, wall of vagina. Number 3, thin skin, which is covered the baby. I have created human being. This is embrace at screen. I have created human being from juice of the soil. Then I placed it in the preserved space as a drop of semen. Then I covered it as hard blood. Then make the hard blood into meatball. Then create bone from the main meatball. Then covered it by the meat. At last stand him as a new aspect. The beautiful Creator is so much welfare ordinated. Al-Mumin Surah, verse 12 to 14. In this verse, it is described that human beings are created from a small quantity of liquid substance remaining preserved as a vast place as steady position. The vagina is preserved by backbone layer at the back side, supported strongly through muscles of backside. Beside this, the embryo is preserved by pregnancy, keeping juice of pregnancy flower. So, embryo has a preserved space for staying. It is a few quantity of liquid substance, alaq, or the converted into the meaning meatball. It is meaning is to remain size. Its second meaning is juice like leech. Both meaning is acceptable in science because the embryo remain joined at the embryo wall at first step and looks as the leech and does act as leech and supplies blood through the pregnancy flowers of mother. Third meaning of alaq. Third meaning of alaq is the blood ball during the 3rd and 4th week, when remain at blood ball age. The liquid substance remain in block of leech beside liquid blood shape. Human being may compare the knowledge of Quran with best and ever the activity scientific information. For the first 1677, the scientists Ham and Lion Nuke observed semen of human being by microscope. They thought that the human accepted very small semen cell semen cell be bloomed in the vagina to born a new baby. It is performation theory or holding theory as it is known. When scientists discovered that we can see similarity in the shape between leeches and human embryo, as described about blooming of human in Al-Quran and Savannah, Allah be converted in Mugdha, its meaning which be crushed, and so much gum and small can be given month like gum. These both explanations be considered as correct by scientific means. Professor Keithmore taken a plaster seal, prepared it like shape of first step of the embryo, then crushed it by took and try convert Mugdhe, and compared his process with the figure of primary stage of embryo. Makes of crushing by tooth be seen as a smile, as smites at the primary information of step of backbone. His Mugdha be fulfilled as an ajam or the an ibn. Meat muscle cover the bone. Then Allah fulfilled in other creation. In opinion of Durga, Dr. Keithmore, modern classification of the development step about embryo not easily accepted all over the world because demarks it is a step in numerically such as last step, second step etc. On the other side, those which cross embryo, its classification is difference on basis of description of Al-Quran and in shape. Formation can be possible easily. These are dependent upon different phase of blooming of pre-birth and easily to understandable and conquer of scientific description of practical technique step of embryological development of human being are declared in here mentioned verse. Was not it ousted semen? Then he was blood ball. Then Allah has created the couple, male and female, Al-Qiyamah, 37 to 39 verse. And in Fitr, 7 to 8 verse. Embryo is partially well-formed and partially non-formed. To embryo at Mugdha step, and if internal any organ be observed, it can be seen that most of it's formed, but other some parts is not completely formed. In opinion of Johnson, at the time of the developing, the embryo embryo as fully created, then express only the incomplete part. Then the embryo is complete created or complete creation. The verse of Quran, it is partially formed as said about this step of origin of the embryo, and not partially formed, for which having no description. I have created you from the soil, and from blood ball, then from meat ball of full shape, and incompletely from meat ball. If be scientifically known that some cell of different at primary step and having some different making cell, that means some formed organ or some organs yet as non-formed. Feelings of the ear and eye. Among blooming human embryo, at first comes the sensation of having ability. The embryo can hear sound after 24 hours. The sensation of eyes sight be created, and retina be sensible after 28 weeks, and retina be sensitive to light. The Quran declare about it. Quran declare about the subject. I have created you with ear, eye, and soul. Sajda. Surah Sajda, verse 9. I have created human being from mixed drop and semen for testing him, for which given right of the hearing and eyesight. Ad-Dahar Surah, verse 2. He created you with ear, eye, and soul. You be grateful for those. Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has known it before 1400 years. Surah Al-Amin, 75 verse. Scientists are knowing a few after many testing. Some subject general science in the Quran, the fingerprint, human being, a thing that shall not unite its all skin, all odd creation. Yes, I am able to properly rearrange his fingerprint. Finqueries Al-Qiyamah, Surah Al-Qiyamah 3-4 verse. After driving of bones, human being in various parts in the ground, rearranging of this and will be marked as a separately of all human being on the day of justice. When question be done by kafir, means infidel, about the subject, then Allah gives answer. He only do not unite bones or our body, but able to reunify a maze of our thumb very correctly, or why the way the Quran has told about thumb mark for determining personal identification of person in 1880, Sir Francis is done research, and on basis of his research, it was found that thumb mark of all persons are completely different from each other. The world which be accepted as a scientific system, even two twin brothers mark is also separate. For this reason, police force examine thumb mark to identify the criminal. Difference of the thumb mark is having it was knowing to Allah before 1400 years. My brother, have a look. What is the Quran? What is the science? Now we still, lots of people don't want to believe that Quran is revealed by Allah. Okay. Feeling of pain on the skin. Once it was concession that feelings of pain is dependent only upon the brain. Present discovering proves that feeling element on the skin is existing, without which pain cannot be felt. For treatment of any fire-burn patient, the doctors test level of burning by a very narrow pain. If the patient feels pain, the doctor understands that a fire spot is not so deep and pain feeling element is exciting. Pain feeling element is existing. But if the patient do not feel agony, then understand that the fire spot is deep and pain feeling element is destroyed. Clear declaration about the subject in Quran. Who denies my verse, I shall must burn them and fire. When skin of their body will be burned, shall change those by new skin, by which they will get punishment and can they feel. And after punishment, and we agree that Allah is great, influential and full of science. An-Nisa, Surah An-Nisa, 56 verse. Professor Tagatal Tazasar, the chairman of the science departments about formation of animal body at the Chiang Mai University in Thailand, has conducted a pain feeling. At first he could not believe that the Quran has declared this scientific truth about 1400 years ago. Afterward, the professor examined the translation of the particular verse of Quran. Professor Tajasen be so much glad for scientific sufficiency. He openly declared in 8 medical conference at the symbol of science of Quran Hadith, there is no exact creator except Allah, and Muhammad is the prophet of prophet. Quran is not subject of science, but few discussion is essential for understanding of Quran and Muhammad. For this reason, done discussion being obliged.